So then standing here on the other side of this podium, he possessed these guns legally. We know what he did with them. What could have been done? What should have been done?
Well, we have to stop people that have bad intentions. Guns, the story is always about guns. The people are bad. This guy's the bad guy. If I could take my gun off right now and I lay it on this counter, nothing will happen. It'll sit there. But as soon as a wicked person grabs a hold of that handgun and starts shooting people with it, there's the problem. The problem is the individual.
The Jacksonville sheriff refuses to go along with the mainstream media's narrative. Welcome to another installment of the Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms, LLC. P.A.N. Firearms, the NRA certification and multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there will be a link in the description box below. And if you like my channel, like my content and what I do here, you can support me with this link in the description box. Everything is appreciated. Let's talk about this. Now, you know, as yesterday, actually it was Sunday when the video was made, but I believe I released it on Monday. I talked about this incident at the dollar store in Jacksonville. And of course, this story is getting a lot of traction because of the race angle that has been presented in it, because an openly racist white man shot 3 black people. And if you remember, it fits the narrative. So this is going to get a lot of attention. I said that in the last video. I'll say it again here now, because let's be honest, if that was a black person who went in there and shot up the dollar store and killed 3 black people, it'd be a non-story. It'd be local news for a day. And that's the end of it. That's the truth. But because of the race narrative, they had that angle to work with, and the fact that a so-called assault rifle was used, obviously, there's a lot there that the grifters can grab onto to exploit. But the sheriff is not playing along with them. As you saw a little bit of the video in the beginning, the sheriff was asked very pointed questions about gun control and the race narrative, and he literally just destroyed both of them, saying, 1, this is not about gun control, and 2, you're going to hear him say, this is really not about race as far as I'm concerned within my department, because I work with all kinds of people. There are good people and bad people. Let's go ahead and watch him talk here, and then we'll come back.
And I don't ever want to have to see it again, and I don't like it, and we are going to make sure that we work as hard as we can to stop these kind of things from happening again. That's why we are paying very close attention to this. We're doing so much to try to determine what exactly led to this. The manifesto is quite frankly the diary of a madman. He was just completely irrational, but with his irrational thoughts, he knew what he was doing. He was 100% lucid. He knew what he was doing. And again, it's disappointing that anyone would go to these lengths to hurt someone else.
And Sheriff, could you explain, are there any details as to why he was vaporized back in 2017, or his guns taken at the time?
No, he didn't have the guns back in 2017. He was only 15 at the time. There was no flag that could have come up to stop him from purchasing those guns. As a matter of fact, it looks as if he purchased those guns completely legally, and all the FFLs did what they were supposed to have done to make sure that there were no issues. So therein lies the difficulty. When a person grabs a hold of a gun with hateful intentions, it's very difficult to stop that from happening.
Sure.
I just want to make sure I have this all in one place in terms of sound here. Can you just tell us, clarify, where did those firearms come from? Were they legal guns, and were they legally possessed? They
were 100% legal, and as I stand here with you today, they were legally possessed. There was nothing indicating, again, like I said, it appears that the dealers that sold those guns to him did it legally. They did what they were supposed to have done. One was Wild West Guns. What was the other one?
One was Wild West Guns, and the other was Orange Park Gun and Pawn.
So it appears they did everything that they were supposed to do as a gun dealer. There was nothing indicating that he should not own guns.
So then standing here on the other side of this podium, he possessed these guns legally. We know what he did with them. What could have been done? What should have been done?
Well, we have to stop people that have bad intentions. Guns, the story is always about guns. The people are bad. This guy's the bad guy. If I could take my gun off right now and I lay it on this counter, nothing will happen. It'll sit there. But as soon as a wicked person grabs a hold of that handgun and starts shooting people with it, there's the problem. The problem is the individual. Now, guns are a tool that people use to do horrible things, but it's the individuals that wield these things. So we are working hard to try to stop that. But in this situation, in this case, there was nothing illegal about him owning the firearms.
Given the racial components of this shooting, are you worried this might have implications from the community of a racial divide here locally or even nationwide?
I don't think so. I don't think there's a racial divide in our city. And actually, I work along with some of the best people in the entire world. And it doesn't matter what color they are or what they look like. We are banded together as a community to fight these issues. And I don't think there's a racial issue. I know there are racial issues with some people. But as a whole, we are all standing here together because we're concerned about the same thing.
Aside wicked people and evil people, what we call, what about mental illness? Given the legislation that Governor DeSantis signed a few months ago,
Yep.
people are concerned about that anybody with mental issues, and this person seemed to have a little bit of history that was seeable. What can we do about that locally or statewide or in general?
We have to do a better job of background checks. And they're doing background checks. They do exactly what they're supposed to do. But there's nothing there to indicate that he shouldn't own a firearm, then there's something else that needs to be done. But really what needs to be done is people need to tell us when they see or they hear these things rising up in an individual. I don't know if anybody knew how he really felt. We haven't ran into him yet. We're still looking. But yeah, that's my answer to that. I mean, mental illness is there, but not everyone that's mentally ill grabs a firearm and kills people for no reason.
Heard that and you saw that. I applaud this sheriff on, hey, he did not take the bait. There's always someone in the media that's going to take this thing to an extreme, especially in situations like this. What did he say? It's not about gun control. I can put my gun on this podium right now and nothing will happen unless somebody with an evil heart picks it up and uses it in a nefarious manner. How many times can we say that? But it's not about that. It's about exploiting the dead for political and social gain. And the race narrative now, this guy's a racist, plain and simple. He's an evil individual. He's a racist, no doubt. But there have been stories, and I've done a couple of videos on them, where black people have targeted and killed white people because they were white. Those stories don't get the same traction. They don't even get close to the same traction. Why? Because you're being played by the media. Now, I just want to get that sheriff's words out there. That was, I was just like, good for you. You know, he wasn't playing. He was not playing that game with them. And I appreciate that from him. Because the first thing especially with situations like this, the first thing that the media does is exploit it, whether it be from a gun control perspective or from a race narrative when it fits perfectly into the agenda. And he just was not playing it. And I give him credit for that. We're going to have to see what goes forward, but I'm pretty sure, like I made in my comments on my last video, I'm sure there are lawyers contacting these victims' families right now saying, hey, we can get you a payday. Go ahead and sue the gun manufacturer because this racist committed this crime. Knowing good and damn well it had nothing to do with the gun. It had to do with the evil in the man's heart. But they don't care about that. For some of them, it's about getting that 40% of the settlement. And for others, it's just disdain for the gun industry and trying to put them out of business through legislation, through litigation. So, but once again, kudos to the sheriff for not playing the game. And we're going to have to obviously watch this story because it's going to evolve as we go. And I know it's going to sound kind of not strange, but truthful. Once again, it's true. I'm waiting for them to connect this guy to Trump. I'm literally waiting for him to do it because it's going to happen. Just like the Buffalo shooter, they try to say, oh, yeah, he listened to Tucker Carlson. When the guy in his manifesto clearly said, I'm a left-wing authoritarian. I do not listen to Tucker Carlson or Fox News. But don't let the facts get in the way. But trust me, this story is going to evolve. But let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or statements that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified the next time a video goes live. I will see you on the next one. Peace.